Richard Gere's story begins far from the glamour of Hollywood. He was born in 1949 in Philadelphia, but grew up in the quiet town of Syracuse, New York, a place where life moved slowly and people knew each other by name. His father worked as an insurance agent, but was known in the community for his compassion and willingness to help others. That spirit deeply shaped Richard's childhood. Music filled their home, and young Richard learned to play several instruments while also excelling in gymnastics. Yet beneath these talents lived a quiet restlessness. Even as a teenager, he felt drawn to deeper questions about life, purpose, and identity. At the University of Massachusetts, he chose to study philosophy, immersing himself in ideas about existence and meaning. But college soon felt limiting. After 2 years, he left without a degree, choosing instead to pursue acting, guided more by curiosity and instinct than by any clear plan for success. The search for meaning before fame. Before Hollywood discovered him, Richard Gere was already searching for something deeper than fame. In his early 20s, he spent long periods studying philosophy and spiritual traditions. He read widely and began exploring meditation and Eastern thought. Eventually, this search led him to Buddhism, which would profoundly influence the rest of his life. Meditation offered him a sense of clarity and stillness that he had never experienced before. He spent months quietly practicing, trying to understand his own mind. During a trip to Nepal in the late 1970s, he met Tibetan monks and later the Dalai Lama, a moment he would describe as life-changing. Their conversations challenged many of his ideas about emotions, ego, and identity. While actors are often taught to intensify emotions for performance, Buddhist teachings encourage letting go of attachment to those feelings. This perspective reshaped how Gere viewed both life and acting, grounding him in a spiritual practice that remained central to his journey. The rise of a Hollywood star. By the late 1970s, Hollywood had begun to notice Richard Gere's unique screen presence. Early roles in films such as Looking for Mr. Goodbar and Days of Heaven introduced audiences to his quiet intensity. But it was the 1980 film American Gigolo that transformed him into a global star. His portrayal of a stylish and mysterious escort captivated audiences and instantly turned him into one of the most recognizable faces in cinema. Soon afterward came An Officer and a Gentleman, a powerful drama that further cemented his reputation as a leading man. The film became a massive success and established Gere as a symbol of charm and romance during the 1980s. Magazine covers, interviews, and red carpet appearances followed. Yet despite the fame surrounding him, Gere often felt conflicted. While the world celebrated his image as a Hollywood heartthrob, he was privately spending hours each day meditating and studying spiritual teachings, searching for something more meaningful than celebrity. Love, fame, and the pressure of celebrity. During the early 1990s, Richard Gere's personal life drew as much attention as his career. His relationship with supermodel Cindy Crawford fascinated the media and turned them into one of the era's most talked about couples. Their spontaneous marriage in Las Vegas captured headlines and seemed like a fairy tale pairing of beauty and fame. Yet behind the public image, the relationship faced challenges. Their careers demanded constant travel, leaving little time to build a stable life together. As Crawford grew into her own independence and voice, the dynamic between them changed. Both later acknowledged that they had married at different stages of their lives. After 4 years, they separated respectfully. The experience taught Gere important lessons about partnership and personal growth. While the end of the marriage was painful, It also helped him understand the importance of emotional balance and authenticity, qualities that would shape his future relationships and his evolving perspective on life. A career reborn with Pretty Woman. Just as his personal life was shifting, Richard Gere experienced one of the most defining moments of his career. In 1990, he starred opposite Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, a romantic comedy that became a global sensation. Gere played Edward Lewis, a wealthy businessman who unexpectedly finds love. The film's charm, humor, and chemistry between the actors captured audiences worldwide, earning hundreds of millions at the box office. Suddenly, Gere was once again at the center of Hollywood success. Yet, even as the film elevated his popularity, he continued to follow his own path rather than chasing every blockbuster opportunity. He remained selective about roles and devoted increasing time to humanitarian work and spiritual practice. This balance between fame and purpose defined much of his career during the following years. Rather than trying to maintain a constant spotlight, he began choosing projects that interested him artistically and personally, speaking out and accepting consequences. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Richard Gere became increasingly involved in humanitarian causes, especially issues related to Tibetan culture and human rights. His advocacy grew from personal conviction rather than publicity. He helped support organizations dedicated to preserving Tibetan traditions and raising awareness about the struggles faced by Tibetan communities. Speaking publicly about such topics sometimes created professional challenges, as global politics often intersects with the film industry's business interests. Nevertheless, Gere chose to continue expressing his views and supporting the causes he believed in. While this occasionally limited certain opportunities, he remained calm about those consequences. For him, integrity mattered more than maintaining universal approval. This period of his life demonstrated a defining characteristic. He was willing to accept professional setbacks if it meant staying true to his values. Finding family again. In the early 2000s, Richard Gere married actress Carrie Lowell, and together they welcomed a son named Homer. Becoming a father deeply transformed him. Parenthood brought a sense of responsibility and tenderness that no film role could replicate. For a time, family life gave him stability amid a demanding career. Although the marriage eventually ended after many years together, Gere remained devoted to fatherhood. Later, life surprised him again when he met Spanish activist Alejandra Silva. Their relationship grew slowly and naturally, built on shared values and mutual respect. Despite a significant age difference, they discovered a strong emotional connection. They married in 2018 and soon welcomed two sons, Alexander and James. Becoming a father again later in life brought a new perspective. Gere often spoke about how fatherhood at this stage allowed him to be more patient, present, and appreciative of every small moment. A new life, far from Hollywood. In recent years, Richard Gere and his family chose to spend more time in Spain, where Alejandra's roots and extended family are located. The move offered something rare for a globally famous actor: privacy. In Madrid, Gere could walk through neighborhoods, visit markets, and spend time with his children without constant media attention. The slower pace of life suited him. Mornings often begin with meditation followed by breakfast with his family, simple routines that feel far removed from Hollywood premieres. Although he still occasionally accepts acting projects, his priorities have clearly shifted. Family life, spiritual practice, and humanitarian work now take center stage. Friends often say he seems calmer and more fulfilled than ever before. Lessons from a long journey. After decades in the entertainment industry, Richard Gere's perspective on success has changed dramatically. Early in his career, recognition and opportunity came quickly, but they never fully satisfied his deeper search for meaning. Over time, he realized that achievements alone could not bring lasting happiness. Instead, he found fulfillment in compassion, service, and relationships. His spiritual practice helped him understand the importance of presence, being fully engaged in each moment rather than constantly striving for the next accomplishment. This outlook influenced not only his personal life but also his choices as an actor. Many of his later roles explored complex characters and thoughtful themes rather than simple commercial appeal. For Gere, success eventually became less about awards or headlines and more about living authentically, supporting meaningful causes, and building a life grounded in values rather than external validation, a legacy of presence and purpose. Today, Richard Gere's legacy extends far beyond the films that made him famous. While audiences will always remember his performances in beloved movies, his life story also reflects courage, reflection, and transformation. He demonstrated that it is possible to step away from constant recognition and choose a path guided by personal values. By prioritizing family, spirituality, and humanitarian work, he redefined what success could look like for a public figure. His journey reminds us that fulfillment often comes from simple moments, watching children grow, supporting others, and remaining true to one's beliefs. In a world that often measures achievement through fame or wealth, Gere's story offers a quieter lesson. Real happiness may not come from having everything the world celebrates, but from understanding what truly matters and dedicating time, energy, and love to those things every day.